Function notation. Y is a function of x, which is the same thing as f of x. So we need to remember and understand that this is not multiplication. Function is f, and another way to write this is f of x. So here's an example of our standard notation where we use y equals 2x plus 5. You're going to notice when we use function notation, instead of y, we will use f of x. It's not f times x. This is a function of x. So this is our output y equals 2x plus 5. X is our input domain, independent variable. Y is our range, our output, our dependent variable. Y depends on that value of x. Whatever we put into the equation, y would be the output. Let's go ahead and look at a few examples using function notation. Here we're going to translate the following statements into coordinate points. So we need to go back and remember, what are coordinate points? Coordinate points lie on a graph and we label it as x comma y. X is always that first value. So when we look at example A, f of negative 2 equals 1. We have to identify this number inside of the parentheses is our x value. Our output is y. So in order to write this as a coordinate point, all we have to put is parentheses negative 2 comma 1. Letter B, we have h of 8 equals 7. So again, 8 is our x, 7 is our y. If we want to write this as a coordinate point, 8 comma 7. And you have to understand that function notation, that variable is going to change. It won't always be f. It can be C, D, depending on the word problem, depending on the description, that variable is going to change, but it's still function notation. It does not have to be an f. In letter C, you have g of 6 equals negative 1. Well, this means this is my x, this is my y. So to write this as a point, 6 comma negative 1. And last example, letter D, k of 6 equals 1. 6 is our x, y is our 1. To write this as an ordered pair, it'd be 6 comma 1. Let's look at another few examples. Now we're going to be given a graph in function notation. So now we have to be able to take that function notation and identify from the graph where our values lie. So first off, let me fix this graph. It should be connected. And so when we're looking at this graph, let's go ahead and look at f of negative 2 equals. We have to identify what are they giving me and what do I need to find. This is my x value, and it's basically asking what is the y value when you look at your graph. When I go to the point at negative 2 on the x, I need to find what the y value is. So I'm going to go to negative 2. Here's negative 2 on my graph, and my y value is 1. So here my answer is 1. I can scratch that out so you understand that is the y value. In example B, f of 5. So 5 is going to be our x, and we need to figure out what is the y value at that point. So when I go to 5 on my number line, this would be 5. I don't see a point, so I need to go up until I hit this graph. And when I hit this graph, I know this is a closed circle. It's included on this point. They just didn't draw this for me. So I need to be able to identify what would the y value be. Here, the y value would be 3. This would be 5 comma 3. I don't see it, but I know it's there. So here, my answer is 3. In letter C, f of x equals negative 2. Well, now I don't know what x is. Now they give me y. So I need to be able to go to my point and identify when y is negative 2, what is the x value? So if I'm going to negative 2 on the y, here's my point. When y is negative 2, x is positive 2. So here, x equals 2. And you can write your answer the same way, y equals 3, y equals 1. But because this is already in function notation, f of negative 2 equals positive 1. F of 5 equals positive 3. In letter D, f of 0 equals, so here I'm given the x value, I need to figure out what is the y value for that point. So when x is 0, here at the origin, y is also 0. So 0, 0. At E, f of negative 4, they give me x, I need to find the y value. So when x is negative 4, my graph should continue, and it didn't. This is where the graph is. You shouldn't have to draw that. It was just missing on my graph. So here, at negative 4, y is 2. So my answer is a positive 2. Again, your graphs are going to be completed for you on your assignment, so please don't worry about having to draw. My graph did not print out correctly. And last, we're going to look at evaluating functions when x is equal to negative 2, 0,